Hey guys, it's Jack. I wanted to let you know that we're starting a new push for subscriptions here on Human Events Daily. So make sure that when you're listening to this podcast, you hit subscribe, you download it, and you share it with 5 of your friends. Make sure they're all going and downloading as well, because we need to get the signal out as much as possible. Look, we've done so much over the past couple of years since this show started, and we're only going to do so much more. Let's get it. This is what happens when the fourth turning meets fifth generation warfare.
A commentator, international social media sensation, and former Navy intelligence veteran.
This is Human Events with your host, Jack Posobiec.
Christ is king.
Breaking news in Washington. We're learning federal agents have conducted a morning raid at the home of former California Congressman Eric Swalwell. Reports say investigators seized multiple electronic devices as part of an active, unfolding investigation into severe sexual assault and misconduct allegations.
The USS George Washington has arrived in the Middle East, leaving the U.S. without an aircraft carrier in the Pacific. Military leaders sent the aircraft carrier to the region to relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln. That vessel has been at sea for an extended deployment because of the war with Iran, sparking concerns among lawmakers and military families after reports of low morale and thinning supplies.
Look, the bottom line is we're going to win Michigan. Let me tell you why we're going to win Michigan. First, El Sayed has brought in new energy and new talent into the Democratic Party, but also in Michigan itself. But second, Michigan, Trump has so bungled the Michigan economy. You know, the numbers for Trump on how well he's doing in keeping costs down in the economy is in the low 30s. In the country, it's in the high 20s in Michigan. Why? He created a trade war with Canada. Anyone who's halfway decent as president knows that the Michigan economy and the Canadian economy are totally intertwined. And he's blown it. We're going to win Michigan.
Begin today in Massachusetts, where just moments ago, the jury in the Lindsay Clancy trial was once again excused after a chaplain testified Clancy was hearing a male voice in her head. Lindsay Clancy is facing murder charges for the strangling deaths of her 3 children, who were all under the age of 5. The 36-year-old says she was suffering from postpartum psychosis, which altered her sense of reality. If the jury finds her not guilty, she would be sent to a state psychiatric hospital. If found guilty, she'll go to prison.
I feel like the system failed her. She was begging for help, but no one was there. I don't know if us being here will make her feel any better, but I mean, she's living in hell right now.
Just wanted to support Lindsay and just say it could be, you know, one of my sister-in-laws, it could be one of my best friends, and it could be me. So just here to support.
We are hearing her. We see that she tried everything. And I really do believe that she went into a state of psychosis.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard today's edition of Human Events Daily. We're here on Real America's Voice. Today is August 21st, 2026, Anno Domini. And of course, we see that Lindsay Clancy trial, which has, I would say, captivated the nation, gripped the nation, and in many ways horrified the nation, is now coming to it's coming to a close. The jury does not, as far as I know, not yet received the case. They're still going through the final witnesses. Defense, prosecution rested. The defense shared their witnesses. Now the prosecution has some rebuttal witnesses. May go to jury today up in Plymouth, Massachusetts. It may also be held over until Monday. Looks, though, that we should get a verdict at some point early to mid next week. Here's the question, though. It's about the response. So much of it's about the case, right? So much about the case, of course, and there's more and more coming out about the case as we learn about it. The fact that Lindsay Clancy had a nanny, the fact that Lindsay Clancy's husband was work from home, that she was a member of a country club, and we're going to have Libby Evans on here very soon to talk about all this, that this woman had all the help in the world. She had all the help that she needed. And there are serious questions as to the Google searches, as to sending the husband out of the house, not calling 911, not reaching out and saying that she needed someone to be there with her in that moment. Serious questions that appear as though this was premeditated. And those are questions that need answers. But folks, Beyond that, I want to talk about something that we've been looking at in terms of the response, the fan base that Lindsay Clancy has amassed, which are cheering for her as she arrives in court, and the TikTok mafia, the RadFem mafia, that has now raised over $1 million, officially more than $1 million for her. And here's what it comes to, folks. We've been told for 20 years in this country that all of our problems arise because of toxic masculinity. They say, oh, it's toxic masculinity that's the rise of all the problems. It's toxic masculinity that causes all the issues in our world. That's why we had to elect Hillary Clinton. That's why we had to elect Kamala Harris, because of the toxic masculinity. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I put it to you that perhaps, just perhaps, it is now time to start talking about toxic feminism, to start talking about fifth wave feminism, because this behavior is toxic. This behavior is sick. This behavior is messed up in the head. And let me tell you something right now. I said this last night. I'll say it again. You are creating permission structures for women to murder their own children. And there will be copycats. There will be Lindsay Clancy copycats because of the permission and incentivization structure that they have been exposed to, with TikTok algorithms and with this longhouse hive that's out there cheering them on from the sidelines, raising millions of dollars. Kill your kids and you can be a millionaire. Kill your kids and you can be a TikTok star. Kill your kids and you'll be all over the news. Kill your kids and we'll say it's not your fault. It was the patriarchy's fault. No. Men need to stand up and say no mas. No mas. We'll be right back. Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice.
Jack? Where's Jack? Where is he? Jack, I want to see you. Great job, Jack. Thank you. What a job you do. You know, we have an incredible thing. We're always talking about the fake news and the bad, but we have guys, and these are the guys who should be getting Pulitzers.
All right, folks. We are back live here at Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice. And folks, a lot of companies talk about American values, but for most of them, it's just a talk. It's a slogan, marketing pitch. And when it matters, they're nowhere to be found. That's why Patriot Mobile is different. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has stood with Americans who believe freedom is worth fighting for. They were built on a simple idea. The idea that you can use commerce to shape the culture. Americans deserve a real conservative alternative. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. You get premium priority nationwide service on any of the 3 major U.S. networks, unlimited data plans, international roaming, and 100% U.S.-based customer service. And Patriot Mobile gives you something that most carriers can't: 2 separate networks on 1 phone. That means stronger coverage, more flexibility, and peace of mind when you need it most. But what really separates Patriot Mobile is their mission. Every year, Patriot Mobile contributes millions to organizations defending free speech, religious liberty, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, and America's future. They're not sitting on the sidelines. They're in the fight, standing up for the values that matter to you, your family, and this country. So if you're going to pay for wireless service anyway, why not support a company that actually shares your values? Go to patriotmobile.com/POSO or call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code POSO for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/POSO. Promo code POSO or call 972-PATRIOT. All Patriots go make the switch today. All right, I want to get on now. Libby Emmons, she's the editor-in-chief of the Post Millennial and Human Events, and she is herself another formerly pregnant woman. Hello, Libby. How are you?
I'm good, Jack. Nice to see you.
I did that with Avita earlier this week, another formerly pregnant guest, because we can't just say mothers anymore. We have to specifically say formerly pregnant, right? You know, because you can't say mom.
Yeah, I love mother. I will be a mother till the day I die, and hopefully on into heaven. I love the word mother. I'm very happy with it.
Yes, no, obviously that's what I'm getting at. No, you're always a mom. You're mom
Yeah.
from the first minute. And so, I do want to put out, and just so folks know, because we're going to get to this in a little bit, our question of the day. And I want to throw this up just so people can start sending their emails in. Our question of the day is, does America have a toxic feminism problem? It's 1776 at humanevents.com, 1776 at humanevents.com. Does America have a toxic feminism problem? And this is really what we're getting at, Libby, because, I went back and I've been sharing those videos of the Susan Smith trial, the fact that her ex-husband, she killed her kids in 1994. Her ex-husband spoke in 2024 at the 30-year parole hearing and gave a very moving testimony saying that, well, she's had 30 years, but that's only 15 per child. And that's not enough. And so,
Yeah.
Libby, what is driving all of this? Because as we learn more and more about the Lindsay Clancy case, the argument that she had no support completely falls apart. She had a nanny who testified. She was a member of a country club. Her husband was work from home. She had nothing but support, as well as it sounds like parents who live nearby, both his side and her side, if I understand correctly, and who also, and I saw this as well, that weren't allowed to have the kids ever sleep over at their house. I'm just sorry. This isn't sounding like believe it or not, the toxic feminist narrative is falling apart.
Yeah, I mean, if the future is female, here we are in the middle of it, and it doesn't look so great. Lindsay Clancy did, as you say, have a lot of support. She had a nanny who was with her until just after her third child was born. And then Clancy had the option to actually stay home. She gave up her career for a time and was able to stay home with her children, which I think if you ask a lot of women, this is something that they would be completely grateful to have that opportunity to stay home with their kids. She lived in Duxbury, Massachusetts, a very affluent part of the South Shore of Boston. It's sort of between Boston and the Cape. It's right on the water. I grew up near there. I didn't grow up in Duxbury. That was always a place that just looked like a real rich place to me from where I grew up. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's just a gorgeous place to be. She was a member of a country club. Her parents were super supportive. Her parents are so supportive that they moved up from Connecticut, which, if you're familiar with New England, Connecticut is real close. It's just not that far away. They moved up from Connecticut for the trial here and to be with her. They have already raised over $1 million, and that's just her parents to support her. And what I find, as you said, so absolutely stunning is the support that this admitted child killer is getting from the public of women. This is not something that men are clamoring around saying, oh, she was justified in killing her children. No, that's all these women in pink who are coming outside the courthouse. Don't they have jobs? Don't they have children to take care of? How is it that they are taking their time to come be outside the courthouse and support a woman who killed her children, who sent her husband out to run errands so that she could kill her children? And they're claiming that they want to bring awareness to mental health and blah, blah, blah. This woman, Lindsay Clancy, had so much mental health support that she could have opened her own clinic with the amount of pills that she was being prescribed and appointments that she was able to have. She was scheduling telehealth and in-person visits and whatever else. As you said, she had so much more support than the average woman. And here she is with all of her privilege, and it still wasn't enough for her, and she killed her children.
Well, and Libby, so let's back up a little bit, because if that's a lie, and it is just a lie that she had no support, that's just a lie. All right, we're going to say that right there because it's clear. We have proven that is a lie, and this is all the information the toxic feminists will not tell us, and therefore it also, you push that down to the level where this is a lie, where that the husband did it, which is obviously a lie because she's admitted that she's done it, and all the evidence shows that she's done it. Why are they doing this? Why are the feminists saying that she is a tool, an icon against the patriarchy? Why are we getting to this position now, Libby, where, and we write about fifth wave feminists in Unhuman Socialist Revolution, where we're starting to now hear that not only are men oppressors, but that children are oppressors, that children are parasites who leech off their mother's life and their time and take away things from their mother. And it's unbelievable that, from my perspective, I've always thought that the fulfillment of femininity, of womanhood, was having kids. Am I missing something here? What's going on?
Yeah, so I think what's going on is a couple of things. One, as you say, in the early 2000s, it was very common to hear pro-abortion women speak about children as parasites that the mother has a right to get rid of at her own choosing and for whatever reason she'd like to do that. So that is certainly something that has been in the feminist brain for a while. And when we look at the support that Clancy is getting, it is from women who feel empowered, who have been sold this idea and sold themselves this idea with feminism that the ultimate achievement of a woman is to be as free as a man. And so what happened in feminism is a woman-hating ideology that tells women that they need to be more like men, that they need to engage in sex the way men engage in sex, that they need to engage in parenting with the kind of freedom to come and go from parenting as they please, and all the rest of it in terms of career as well. Achievement for feminist women is to gain the highest accolades in their career. And what we have done in the feminist movement, what the feminist movement has done, is completely downplayed motherhood, downplayed femininity as anything other than a power game with sex, and downplayed what it can be, what the ultimate idealized feminine would be. And to me, as a Catholic woman, I look at Mother Mary and I look at the hero's journey that she offers us. And I say, that is actually the most beautiful hero's journey for women. There's nothing else for it.
I would just say heroine's journey, the heroine's journey.
And I think that's exactly right.
The Joshua Lysak and I have an interesting back and forth on heroine's journey and why the heroine's journey is different from a hero's journey. This is also why so much of Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power series is so bad, because they're putting female characters in masculine roles. Men, to achieve their value and to achieve their worth, need to go out into the world and slay dragons, right? That's
correct.
That's how a man achieves their value, achieves their status. That's the hero's journey. The heroine's journey is different because women inherently have purity, have virtue, have all of their that integrity from birth. And so the heroine's journey is, do they fulfill that which they already have, and do they protect that virtue? That is the essence of a heroine's journey.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, but I think that there's something more, right? When we look at Jesus, he grew up to sacrifice himself for the good of the world, and Mary raised her son only to watch him sacrifice himself for the good of the world. And she sacrificed of herself so that her son could do that. And I think that's a big part of it as well. I think a big part of the female heroine's journey is to sacrifice of yourself for your children. And any woman who is blessed with children really, I think, understands or should understand how grateful we ought to be for that responsibility and for that journey. It's absolutely a spectacular thing to do, and it's a spectacular place to sacrifice, and there is the utmost joy in doing that. Lindsay Clancy, she had a career and she gave it up to stay home with her kids, and then she killed her children. That's absolutely a situation where her expectations did not meet reality, and what she needed to change were her expectations, and instead she took it out on her children and eliminated them from the world.
I think you're right. I think that's exactly what happened. Libby Emmons, be right back. Human Events Daily.
You talk about influencers. These are influencers, and they're friends of mine. Jack Posobiec. Where's Jack? Jack, who's done a great job.
All right, folks, Jack Posobiec back live here, Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice, Human Events Daily. Folks, gold is having a major day today. It's been up more than $100 all day. So look what's driving it. War conditions, tariff uncertainty, markets jerking around on every single headline, and serious questions around the dollar. This is why my wife, Tanya Tay, and I became clients of Allegiance Gold. Not because you panic, but because you prepare. We treat protecting what we have built as seriously as we treat building it. Headlines change, markets change, and the thing nobody is worried about today has a way of becoming tomorrow's headline. If you've worked hard for your savings and your family's future, do not wait until everyone is rushing to do the same thing. Find out how much you can move a portion of your 401k or IRA into gold, or put physical gold and silver directly in your hands. Shipped directly, discreetly, straight to your door. Call 844-577-7676 or go to protectwithposo.com and claim your free wealth protection guide. It lays out what the herd tends to miss. And if you qualify, you may be eligible for up to $5,000 in free gold or silver on a qualifying investment. That's protectwithposo.com or call 844-577-7676. I love this topic that, and by the way, I don't love the circumstances, but I think it's important for us to have this conversation because we're on with Libby Emmons and we're talking about the rise of toxic feminism in America because we've heard all about toxic masculinity. And I think now it's time to look at the other side because I do think that toxic feminism is ruining relationships. I think it's ruining our politics. I think it's ruining our society because you see it all the time where men are putting themselves in female roles and females are putting themselves in male roles. By the way, taking care of the children is also a female role. And I'm just going to say it, Libby. I think that there's an inherent resentment or a kind of anger that women have when they see a man acting in too much of a feminine role. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly see those cases where women turn their husbands into feminized men and then leave them for the pool boy. I mean, that's like a trope. We see that happen. You know, it's pretty common. Women don't actually want a feminized man. Women want a strong man who is able to lead. And I think that studies have shown certainly that it's when men lead the family, not with aggression or anger or any of those things, but calm and with a guiding hand, that families do better. It's certainly not something that I would have thought I would be saying when I was a younger woman and I was enmeshed in the whole feminized, feminist, whatever, feminist culture. But it's certainly something that as I have grown on in years and I have experienced motherhood, I have made a change in my way of thinking simply because of what experience has taught me as opposed to ideology. When I was a young person, like most of these women, you are told essentially by society and the general messaging of your prep school or whatever, which, you know, Duxbury prep school, like the public schools are like prep schools, you know, so that's just how it is. But you end up with this notion that you should go to college and go on to grad school and you should achieve at the highest levels of your career that are possible, that you should not marry your high school sweetheart if you have one, that you should, you know, sleep around if that's what you want to do, that you should be able to do all of these things without emotion, and that motherhood is something for weak women to do. That's certainly a view that I had, you know, like, let me finish grad school before I have a child. And then when it became obvious that I better have a child or not have a child, I decided to say yes to love and say yes to God's plan. And I have been so grateful. My mind has completely shifted and turned around compared to what I used to think. So I think that a lot of these women are living in a situation where they believe in ideology and they don't believe their own experience. They refuse to look at the foundations of these absurd beliefs and actually start to question them and understand what's really going on here. Toxic femininity, as you said, it has really caused a lot of problems. This is the overdoing of compassion that we see that keeps borders open. This is the child sacrifice that we see that comes with abortion, which these leftist women would probably be shocked to know that abortion actually has caused essentially a genocide genocide of Black Americans. There are more Black babies aborted in this country every year than of any other single group. We're up to something like almost 1 million abortions a year. This is part of the child sacrifice culture. And this is something that you and the guys were talking about on Thought Crime last night. This is a child sacrifice culture, one where women are
Libby,
essentially, this woman is being praised for killing her kids, and where abortion is deified. It's out of control.
No, it's totally out of control. But I would note as well that, and you're right about abortion, but I would also note that the public shouting of the support for this baby killer, and I just got to say it seems to be mostly liberal white women. Liberal, white, college-educated women, and you could just see it. Just look at the demographics of this crowd, and they're telling us how they've traveled from all over the country, some from other countries, to quote unquote be there for Lindsay Clancy. And so it's clearly a problem, right? It's clearly a problem, and I just have to say, being honest and being objective, that I don't see a lot of minority women in that crowd. I see a lot of white women.
Yeah, I think you're right. And of course, it is mostly white women who advocate for abortion and advocate for open borders, advocate for children to undergo sex changes. We're advocating for BLM. We saw an awful lot of white women doing that, liberal white women. These are the same women that were advocating for lockdowns and for schools to be closed during COVID. They are full of really bad ideas, and they have been educated to the point where they think that their ideas are good because they're not actually learning. They're not curious. They are believing, as I said, they're believing in ideology instead of looking into things, investigating their own beliefs and understanding what foundations they are building on. Because clearly, if you are out there advocating for a woman who killed her children, you are not basing your decisions and your views on a good, solid, actual moral foundation. You are doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing society a disservice.
Libby Emmons, where can people go to follow you?
Find me on Twitter at Libby Emmons, and check out everything we're doing at thepostmillennial.com and humanevents.com.
Make sure you're following her, folks. Oh, by the way, the book is available for pre-order, Unhumans, Socialist Revolution. Right back.
The faculty of one university is one communist too many. One communist among the American advisors at Yalta was one communist too many.
All right, folks, Jack Posobiec back live here, Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice. And folks, today is Friday, and so, of course, just like every Friday, we are here to make you the guest of honor. We're sending the emails in. Does America have a toxic feminism problem? We're emailing 1776 at humanevents.com, 1776 at humanevents.com. I got to tell you, we got so many great ones in already. I want to dig in. First one is from Jane. She says, to toxic femininity, root is Satan and sin, spiritual warfare. I'm on my knees praying for our children. This one is in from C. Yes, we need to start talking more about our Mother Mary and the saints. This one in from Marianne. The Bible refers to these women as silly women, easily led astray. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6. For of this sort are those who creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts. This one in from Bubs the Troll. I wish Charlie was around to change his position from don't send your kids to college to don't send your daughters to college. I think we actually did a thought crime that had, I think Blake mentioned something about that. This one is in from Hannah. It says, Dear Mr. Posobiec, this is not your mother, I promise, though my devotion to your broadcast is similarly steadfast. The question of toxic feminism requires a resounding affirmative, for the modern world suffers from a severe decay of aesthetics and etiquette. As an old Victorian soul trapped in a late millennial body, one finds the cultural landscape of social media, particularly that digital wilderness known as TikTok, profoundly fatiguing. I'm right there with you, Hannah. Indeed, the original grievances of feminism were sufficiently deleterious. Yet the advent of modern platforms has exacerbated the affliction beyond measure. The spectacle of progressive ladies projecting their shrill, up-talking voices across the internet makes a most convincing case for eligible, well-meaning bachelors to prolong their bachelorhood indefinitely, and we're certainly seeing that. Gratitude is owed to you for your tireless work and for maintaining this essential form of truth. With warm regards, hugs and prayers, not your mother, just another loyal brother in arms. I guess sister in arms there in case. Thank you so much. This one's in from Krista in Indiana. She says, just my opinion and experience as a stay-at-home mom. I would say full-time mom, by the way. I reject the phrase stay-at-home mom. We need to maintain control of linguistics. Full-time mom. I'm a full-time mom. Stay-at-home implies that you should be out of the home. What's wrong with being a full-time mom? I'm a full-time mom. And yes, absolutely, we do have a problem. It appears the left-leaning, typically lesbians, have become quite a problem. Purdue is 10 minutes from my house. The amount of hate that comes from the LGBTQ plus is insane. And it all started with the toxic feminist turned lesbian. Lafayette used to be a great place to live and raise a family. Now it's filled with businesses being run by these hateful people. I miss the old world. Thank you for all you do. Well, we're all fighting to bring that world back. This one is in from Teresa. Gosh, you ladies write long emails, I gotta tell you. I'm going to summarize because we only have, we're limited for time, but these are amazing. Thank you. And I'm certainly going to read all of these. The answer is beyond yes. I was a young 17-year-old pregnant mom who ran away from home to avoid a marriage of convenience to someone who wasn't the father required by my Mormon church in order to be forgiven. When those women turned against me for leaving the church and taking care of myself, I was very much alone. I did well, obtained a real home without any help from family or friends by 19 and my BSN by 22. I did get married to a doctor, and suddenly those women wanted me back at church because I was now perfect in their eyes. When I was kicked out of the marriage due to being traded in for a 17-year-old, irony, I felt relief at being on my own once again, but was ostracized by women in that church and friends who told me it was my fault for not keeping the marriage solid. My nursing friends were supportive, joined the military, continued to work hard, married Mr. Wonderful in 2012, and those women rapidly shifted from supportive to severe hating. They want to support everything, nuclear family, and buying first of myself. Look, what it comes down to is it's envy. It's just envy. What you're describing, Teresa, this is all envy. It's just envy. It's just straight up envy. They're envious of you. It's really simple. This one is in from Dolores. We have a morality problem in America. I tend to believe that she, because she means Lindsay Clancy, heard a voice from a demon or was demon possessed. Absolutely. It's in the Bible many times. No one in the media ever acknowledges that could be what happened. These doctors prescribe all the meds, these psycho drugs. Doesn't that open you up to the other side? Clearly does. Where's the arrest of the doctors dishing out all these meds like candy to this lady? Satan is the author of all murders, as it says in the Bible. I think that proves it was a demonic force telling her to kill her children. Yes, we have liberal women in America. They wear what I call pig rings in their noses. The government letting in illegal teachers and curriculum has helped this issue. I'm sorry, pig rings. It's too good. You guys are fire. You guys are, man, you guys go hard in the paint. You ladies go hard in the paint. You go harder than I do. All right, this one's in from Janet. Let's see. This says it's talking about the darkness in the eyes and that darkness that you see, not just the color, but a deeper kind of darkness, a demonic source. The mother who strangled her 3 children to death has black eyes, deep black eyes. Toxic feminism is an evil tool. It's built on lies and results in the death of children and the unborn, period. The youngest child was 3 months old. Any questions? No, I honestly don't have any questions because I 100% believe that this was demonic. I believe this was done by Moloch. I think that this is just obviously what is going on, and I don't think there's any question about it. As someone who's read the Bible, as someone who believes the Bible, I believe the Bible is true. All of it, that includes the occult, that includes witchcraft, that includes opening yourself up to the demonic, open yourself up to demons, and it's possible. It is possible through envy and through sin, right? Resentment, envy, sin, greed, gluttony. That is how you open yourself up to the demonic. This one in from, my friend Veronica from Poland, Rogowska. She writes, yes, America has a toxic feminism problem. Women are turning away from God, who is the truth. Indeed, they are becoming lost and no longer grounded in their values and convictions. As a result, they turn to mainstream media and TikTok, which encourages women to act like men, to compete, to be tough and cold. In the process, they are losing themselves and the essence of femininity. This is a dangerous direction. When we turn away from God, we become vulnerable to evil influence. I was just talking about. And now this is interesting. Let me see what's going on here. There's a toxic man problem that's causing women to totally go against their natural instincts of being a mother, wife, caretaker, homemaker, etc. It wasn't that long ago when men would beat women up and police were called, nothing would happen. It actually still happens every single day all around the country. It's false. Same for men abandoning families for younger women. They also got sick of being told that they don't do anything because they don't work a 9-to-5 job or have to ask for money for basic necessities. Yeah, again, so in the courts today, we'll always side with a woman. The courts will always side with the mother in a divorce case. The courts will always come in, and if there is a man who's committing some kind of domestic violence, the courts are absolutely stacked against the men, even to the point where mere accusations of impropriety that are made by women are immediately acted upon by the courts through temporary restraining orders, TROs, or peace orders or anything of the sort, and it's always done in favor of the women. And so, this idea that men are the one causing all the problems is just not true. It's just not true. That we have a society where women are given by every single metric that you can look at, women are doing better than 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and yet problems like this, the toxic femininity, toxic feminism, are on the rise. So I would just say that, you really have to look at the fact that the statistics say it's the opposite. America's feminism problem, he raised $1 million, while women rally around her like a cult. When defending the accused becomes more important than 3 dead children, feminism has lost the plot. I call it white liberal feminism. Well, I call it toxic feminism, but yes, it's clearly white and liberal. So there's the AWFLs, the awfuls, affluent white female liberals. That's something we've talked about before. Toxic feminism will go down as the biggest psyop in American history, led by some of the most evil the world has ever seen. The amount of time, money, and propaganda to convince women that it was better for them to leave the house, raising families, and join the corporate ladder is astounding. This has morphed into something uncontrollable, and it's creating a death spiral in mental health among women. I'm actually blocked by the founder of Sex and the City, because when Sex and the City came back and was getting rebooted, I actually found the founder's comments in an old interview where the founder of Sex and the City, which of course promotes this lifestyle, the girl boss lifestyle, to women, that she said, I regret never having kids. So she then blocked me and ran around to the media, Daily Mail, and everybody else saying, that was taken out of context and I recanted it. No. Tell people the truth. Tell them the truth. The founder of Sex and the City admitted that she regretted not having children. And who dug up that interview? I did. I dug up that interview, and that was the only time in your professional life that you've ever told the truth. And how dare you sit up there and make money while you're leading these young girls and leading women astray, leading them to a place where they're in their 40s, where they're in their 50s. And yeah, they've got titles, and yeah, maybe they got the corner office, but you know something? They realize they're missing something else. They're missing the love of children, looking up at them with their eyes saying, I love you, mommy, and you mean the world to me. And worse, you got women who have that and think they should have something else. That's the problem in society today. I'll be right back. Jack Posobiec, Human Events Daily.
Call this the Jack Posobiec Appreciation Hour. I can say confidently, I think Josh Shapiro would be the vice presidential nominee if it wasn't for Jack Posobiec. And that is, I'm being honest.
All right, folks. Well, we're back. Human Events Daily, Real America's Voice. Folks, here's the thing. Everything seems like it's costing more and more these days. Groceries, utilities, housing. And for a lot of American families, even replacing something as essential as a mattress can feel like a major expense. But believe it or not, there's actually one American company that we're going to talk about a little bit here this afternoon that spent decades figuring out how to deliver better comfort and quality without the traditional retail markup. I'm really excited because right now joining us, Mark Warner, the CEO and founder of Ghost Bed. And Mark comes from the Werner family. This is, of course, the iconic family behind the American Ladder Company. Now, he took that same entrepreneurial, the engineering mindset, moved over to the sleep industry when he founded Ghost Bed. Mark, welcome to Human Events. How are you?
Great. thanks for having Ghostbed on today, Jack.
Well, I appreciate having you, and I got to say, my wife Tanya Tay and I, we love this thing. It is something that we switched over to immediately once we got it, and funny enough, when we first kind of connected with Ghostbed, we had already been talking about. I know it's going to sound like, oh, they told you to say that. No, we actually were looking into getting a new bed. Sometimes it's just one of those things where you want to upgrade your experience. You've been on a bed for a certain amount of time, and you're just ready for a change. And we had already kind of been having that conversation when you guys reached out to us, and it was really just phenomenal timing, because I said, "Hey, sweetheart, I think I just got us a new bed."
The body starts telling you when you're ready, because your body changes.
That's so true. Yes.
And your body.
That's so true. And she is not here right now, but I will tell you, and this is, I'm not going to say my wife's like the princess and the pea, okay? But I'm just saying, if she doesn't like a bed, she's going to make it known. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Well,
no, and she loves it. So tell us a little bit about how Ghostbed got started, how the company got started, and really what sets it apart.
So I come from the Werner Ladder family. My grandfather started that over 100 years ago. And then he was a lieutenant colonel in both world wars. And then my dad invented the aluminum ladder, and then fiberglass and the fiberglass ladder. And then that business ultimately, after 100 years, got sold. And I worked there for a long time, factory, office, everything. And then I've had these 3 neck surgeries. So I couldn't find a mattress or a pillow that worked for me. So given my engineering background and my polymer background with the fiberglass, I invented my pillow and mattress, memory foam style, from my polymer experience. And that led to Ghostbed. And I really wanted an American family business because I was used to generations of family business. So my wife and I started it with the plan of having our kids work for us, and at some point in the future, maybe our grandkids. So that's how Ghostbed got started, all with high engineering, high quality, and very affordable. So we're trying to make a very durable product that lasts a very long time, that's very affordable for all of our customers. And after 25 years of doing it, it seems like it's become a real success and a well-known brand and a good slate of products. Various mattresses, cooling technology, lots of patents, adjustable bases, great sheets that are super cool and crisp, different pillows, massage mattress, massage topper, new active cooling and heating type systems. So we're always kind of on the cutting edge with technology.
Now, I got to ask though, was there a moment where because you're in the family, you're doing ladders, and you're saying, you know what, mattresses, I want to make the move, because that's not something that I think most people would think is like the next logical step. You might think tools, you might think something like that. What was it that made you specifically want to move into mattresses and sleep systems?
Well, I think it was the 3 neck surgeries, so I couldn't find my own need, but also because I was my dad's lab assistant when he was inventing fiberglass and fiberglass ladders. That's a polymer. We call it a structural polymer. And a memory foam mattress is a comfort polymer. So I had the engineering and the background to kind of convert one type of polymer into another type of polymer. And it was just fun. And it's very similar because with a ladder, you're shipping air. So you put all these extension ladders or big step ladders on a truck, and you're not shipping many units. The same thing with a mattress. So I helped develop backpacking the mattress. So rather than a flat pack, we can compress it, roll it up. It's more energy efficient. It's easier for people to transport into your house, into a store, taking it from a store, etc. So that was just a commonality, a couple key commonalities, and then just the core competencies of manufacturing, distribution, quality materials, longevity, and branding. And Werner is 100 years in the product, and as of now, I think they have 85% market share. So they started with 0 with a very poor grandfather of mine and worked their way through the years. We've done the same thing with Ghostbed. We're not at the Werner size, but we've done a good job building it up with my wife and kids and our whole team, and all of our people that work here we consider our family. So we're proud. That's
incredible. And I couldn't help but notice you mentioned 3 neck surgeries. Was that were you an accident? Was what if, and not to get too personal, but what was it that led to that and that kind of creating your need to have a superior sleep system?
I wanted to be a pro golfer. when I was younger. So I played in high school and college. And all that torquing, you'll find a lot of golfers have neck and back problems. And then I was a runner and an athlete overall. So that torquing just worked its way. I never had an accident. I just woke up and I couldn't move one day, and it was the first surgery, then the second, then the third. So I've got lots of metal and rods in here. So I'm very limited.
Oh my gosh.
So the mattress and the pillow, I'm the guy that's living with that hardcore daily back and neck pain. So I've developed products to really deal with that kind of stress on the person and come up with those solutions. So I think I've been very effective there. Just like I sleep warm, so I've got these patents on cooling technology because most of the people sleep warm. And most of the people in our country, everywhere, snores. So I've developed and have patents on anti-snoring technology. So we've got a new adjustable base. So that's the thing underneath the mattress where the head goes up, the leg goes up. You've got massage and different types of comfort features. But it has a sensor now under our patent. So when you start snoring, it will hear that and it will start to rise you up a little bit in the back. So it would open up your passageway. You'll stop snoring. You won't have to get the pillow from your partner. You won't have to get the elbow. Everyone's happy and no one has to go in the other room. So that's our new smart adjustable base that we're very proud of.
I'm just gonna have to go, and I think my mom and dad are watching this, and Mom, I'll just say right now, I will get you one of those for Dad right away. We're gonna order it. We're gonna put in the order. Actually, I'm gonna have the staff go and put in the order right now so that it's delivered hopefully by tonight, or if not by this weekend. Just saying my mother and father might be interested in that product. Might be a little helpful there. And just in the last time we have with you, because and by the way, I actually did get my mom and dad a ghost bed when we first started working with you guys, and they love it as well. They really, really do. And we were talking about, I think we did it it was sort of a Mother's and Father's Day gift together, and they absolutely love the thing. And so, but if they didn't, tell people about, we have this 101 night sleep trial. How does that work?
So we know it's a big purchase and a commitment. And if you're doing it online, it's a lot. So we offer 101 nights, which is over 3 months. We ship it to your house, either through FedEx or white glove delivery, whatever you prefer. And then you try it out. If you don't like it, you contact us and we'll come and pick it up. No hassle on your part. We'll pick it up. We'll try to find some other mattress in our lineup that might work better for you for whatever reason. But over 95% of the people keep the ghost bed mattress, and we align them up properly. They take the Marks quiz most of the time. So we kind of figure out your needs and the different type of mattresses we offer to get the right one for you. So it's a nice kind of comfort feature where you kind of de-risk the situation for the customer.
No, that's a great fee. It's a great deal. And then so I've been telling people it's ghostbed.com/POSO. You can go up there and of course use powerful promo code POSO, and you can get involved as well. You can get it for your family. You get it for yourselves. You got back to school if you got kids. If you got kids who are going to college or setting up, or if you're going to college, you want to set up an apartment, it's the perfect place to go. Mark, thank you so much. I love getting to know you here today on a Friday.
Thank you so much, Jack. My pleasure.
All right. Again, it's ghostbed.com/POSO, promo code POSO. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, you have my permission to play a short.